Hi, Dr. Marcia here with another of my Summer of Self-Care videos. As the summer winds down, I thought it might be a good idea to revisit the concept of loneliness and isolation. You know, a poll was just taken in Ontario recently by the Canadian Mental Health Association, and what it found was that close to 90% of people are thinking that there will be a second wave of COVID-19 coming up in the fall, possibly around November. And people are extremely anxious about that, and they're afraid that our society will shut down again and they'll be more isolated. And you know, it's a possibility. We can't know, because this whole COVID-19 situation has been so unpredictable and so unprecedented. We really don't know what's going to happen as flu season comes around. We don't know if we'll have another wave, and we don't know if we'll be more shut down and having to isolate more in the near future. So I thought it might be a good idea to talk about a couple of things we can do right now for loneliness and isolation. One of the things we can do is really make sure that we reach out to our loved ones, because what I have found with some of my patients that I speak to is that because they're alone so much, they kind of get used to being alone, and then they forget to reach out to their friends and family members. They forget to call people or FaceTime people. So it's really important to kind of get into the habit of reaching out. So make a weekly phone date with a friend, or a weekly FaceTime meeting with a family member, so that you have something booked and you don't forget to have that regular contact with people. Because if you keep up that regular contact, it will feed your soul. It's not the same as being face-to-face, but it will be more than nothing. It'll be better than being alone and not having any contact with people. So keep up that regular contact, so that if things do shift and we are in more of a lockdown situation in the fall, at least you'll have that habit of being in touch with people, and they'll have that habit of being in touch with you, and that'll feel a little bit better if we have to go into more of a shutdown situation. Another thing we can do to deal with loneliness and isolation is to really work on our relationship with ourselves, because self-love and self-comfort is so important when we're going through a difficult time. And one of the ways you can start working on your self-love is doing some inner work, some mindfulness exercises, so that you spend time talking to your inner child, giving yourself affirmations like, I love you, you're good enough, I'm here for you, it's going to be okay. And just keep working on that self-soothing and self-affirmation and building that relationship with yourself. Because if you love yourself and you feel good within yourself, you can tolerate a lot more difficulty, and you're more resilient in times of stress. Having more self-love and good self-esteem makes you stronger and more able to cope with the challenges of life, so that when you have these difficult times like COVID-19 and all the isolation, you're not feeling as thrown for a loop by all these difficult times. And so these are the things that you can do when you're coping with loneliness and isolation. So as you're feeling your loneliness and isolation, don't go and be foolish and have these parties with too many people, especially people outside of your social bubble, because that's when you're at risk of getting sick, and you don't know until you get sick how severely you'll be affected. Young people are not 100% immune from getting seriously ill, and they're not immune from having the kinds of COVID that might make you into a long hauler where you have symptoms for many months down the road. You don't want to take that chance with your own health, and you also don't want to take that chance of infecting your family members, some of whom might be compromised. So please, even when you're feeling lonely and isolated, you still need to keep your wits about you and not put yourself or your loved ones at risk. So loneliness and isolation, make sure you reach out to your loved ones, and also make sure you spend time building your relationship with yourself, building more self-love and self-confidence, because those things will really help you deal with these very unprecedented and challenging times. Please stay tuned for the last few of my Summer of Self-Care videos. This is Dr. Marcia. Stay safe, stay strong, keep your hearts open, and I'll speak to you soon.